She's back online. Give her just a second, boss.
Okay. Yeah, wait. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, there's two empty squares. Who vacated the other one?
Blue Barker.
Val's back. Yay.
Where's Blue?
I'm betting he'll be back.
Well, it's almost time to start.
1 more minute. Well, 8 seconds actually.
I will get up here in case
Thanks.
that isn't filled. Now we
Hey Val, you gonna grab the top one? Val?
Oh yeah, Val. She's back.
Grab the top right. Well, there we go. Wow, we're ready to start. Hooray! And right on time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Hollywood Squares. I'm your host for tonight, Catboy Qunhua. We have a theme for tonight. All of the questions. Thank you for cheering. Thank you. Right, now all of the questions tonight are a mixture of literature, astronomy, and history. And as usual, but per tradition for the Hollywood Squares, we go to the person who has the X, and I'm going to flip a coin, and he's going to call it heads or tails to see who gets to go first. So, Day Miami, I'm going to flip the coin as soon as I get this cat off my lap. There you go. And you call it. What do you want, heads or tails?
You know, I always pick heads, Catboy.
You always pick heads, and you got heads.
Hey,
That means you get to go first. Just a quick, I'll go over the rules for everyone. This works like a game of tic-tac-toe. You pick a panelist, and I give them a multiple-choice question. As a contestant, you don't have to know what the right answer is. You just have to know, is the panelist right or are they wrong? You have to agree or disagree, but you don't need the right answer. Just need to know whether or not the panelist is right or wrong. And that's it. And also, you win by getting 3 in a row, or who has when it's over and there's no 3 in a row, who has the most number of X's or O's on the board is the winner. So, Jay Miami, you get to go first. Who would you like first for the Hollywood Squares?
Let's start with Roxy down below.
Roxy at the bottom. Hi, Roxy. Thanks for playing. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, your question is, here it is. What year was Pluto downgraded from being a planet? It's a dwarf now, I believe. It was downgraded. Pluto's no longer a planet. It got downgraded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What year was Pluto downgraded? Was it 1997, 2006, or 2010?
I'm pretty sure it was 2006.
2006. So I go back to Day Miami. Day, is she right or is she wrong?
I'll agree.
You agree. You should agree. She's dead right. And she answered it pretty confidently and quickly, too. 2006. X gets a square. All right, now we go to Thunder. Thunder, who would you like? You want Phelan. Okay, we're going with Phelan. There we go. Phelan is the center square, the power square. Hi, Phelan.
Counting on you, Phelan.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
Okay, I have a literature question for you, Phelan. Your question is, who killed Dumbledore? It was one of these 3 characters. Was it Voldemort, Severus Snape, or Bellatrix Lestrange?
Ooh. Let's go with Snape.
You say Severus Snape, so I go back to Thunder.
Oh my gosh.
Is he right or is he wrong?
So there's a 66% chance that he's wrong. But I'll bet he's a reader. I'm going to agree.
You'd be right to agree. It was Severus Snape. Circle gets a square. Severus Snape was the one that performed the curse of death, whatever that was. I forgot it. Day Miami, who do you want next?
Let's go with Steven.
Steven, bottom right corner. There we go.
You
Hi,
gonna trust me this
Steven.
time, Day? Hey, I'm good.
How
Hi,
you
Catboy.
doing? Okay, I have a history question for you. This one's about George Washington Carver. He was an agricultural scientist who invented more than 300 products from the peanut plant. I have a simple true or false question for you. Did he invent peanut butter?
While it is commonly held that he did, it turns out historians say he did not. He did not invent peanut butter.
So you say false.
I say false.
You're going with
I'll
false.
agree.
Yep. Peanut butter was around long before Carter was. He did invent some practical means of mass producing it, but he did not invent peanut butter itself. X gets a square. Okay, now we go back to Thunder. Thunder, I believe you want Thuja for the block.
Yes, please.
Okay, we're going to Thuja. Hi, Thuja.
Hi. I'm
Hey,
ready.
how you doing? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I got an astronomy question for you, which is, which celebrity was mostly responsible for downgrading Pluto from not being a planet anymore? Was one of these three famous people? Was it Neil deGrasse Tyson, Carl Sagan, or Stephen Hawking?
Um, I guess I'll go with Carl Sagan.
You say Carl Sagan, so I go back to. It was Thuja's turn, right? Thuja for the block. Thuja. Oh, sorry, it was Thunder's turn. Thunder. Is
Yeah,
Thuja right or is
so
Thuja wrong?
I have no idea. I'm going to disagree.
You'd be right to disagree, right? Carl Sagan actually passed away before Pluto got downgraded. It was Neil deGrasse Tyson. Circle gets a square. Now we go to Day Miami. Day, I think you want Valley for the block.
Of course.
All right, we go to Valley.
If it's a literature question, I'm agreeing with whatever she says.
Okay. Valley, you there? Just checking.
Yes, yes. I'm nervous, but I'm here.
She typed.
Okay, Valley, your question is, now I have a literature question for you. All right. Your question is, in a list of best-selling single-volume books of all time, Harry Potter is not in the top 3. I'm going to read to you what the top 3 actually are. You have to guess which one is number 1. Is it The Little Prince, The Hobbit, or Lord of the Rings?
Ooh, now I should know this. I'm going to go with The Little Prince.
You say it's a Little Prince. So I go back to Day Miami. Day, is she right or is she wrong?
Well, I was thinking of something else, but I'm going to agree with Val.
You're going to agree? I'm afraid she was wrong. It's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Right. It was a single volume book. Best sale, single volume. So I cannot give Circle the Square because that would be a win. So I go back to Thunder. Thunder, you want Valerie for the quick win, I would imagine.
Yes, please.
All right, we're going back to Val. Hi, Val.
Hi.
Okay, we're going back to you, and this time we have a history question. Sports, actually. Sport history. Do you remember the famous boxer Muhammad Ali?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, do you remember what was his name before he changed it? Was one of these three? Was it Cassius Clay, Sonny Liston, or Floyd Patterson?
It was Cassius Clay.
You say it was Cassius Clay. I go back to
I
Thunder.
agree.
You agree. Circle gets a square, and the win goes to Thunder. Thunder wins herself a brand new dolly. So we're going to need Thunder. We need you to stand up so someone else has a chance to play. Day, you don't have to go anywhere because you haven't won anything yet. Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm used to hearing that, Catboy.
Okay, I got to reset the board. And we're going to need some more volunteers. So we're going to need another contestant. And we need another person to volunteer for our panel. We need another contestant and another person for the panel, please. Right. One more contestant. Can't play without a contestant. You can win fabulous prizes. Oh, someone's coming up. We have, who is this? Ladova. Ladova's joining us. Excellent. And did somebody get up in the panel yet? Let me check.
Yes.
All right, we're ready to go for another round. Okay, so since we started with the X last time, now we're going to the circle. So that means, Ludova, you get to go first if you want first for the Hollywood Squares. See, you want Feline. Ah, she's starting with the Power Square. All right, we're going to Feline. Hi, Feline.
Hello.
Okay. Here's your question. It's another question about Pluto. Pluto got downgraded to a dwarf planet. Pluto was discovered in the year 1930. Since its discovery, has Pluto completed one orbit? Is that a yes or a no?
Oh, I should know.
Since it was discovered in
No.
1930, has Pluto completed a single orbit?
No, not yet.
No, not yet, you say. So I go back to Ludova. Ludova, is he right or is he wrong? You agree, you'd be right to agree. 1 year of Pluto is 248 years. And it was only discovered 130 years ago. Well, sorry, 110. So, circle gets a square. Okay. Now we go back to Day Miami. Day, who did you want next?
Let's go with Spiff this time.
Going with Spiff. There she is. Spiff's up there in the upper left-hand corner. Hi, Spiff.
Hey there. Ready
Thanks
to go.
for playing.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
joining us. Okay, now I have a literature question for you. Okay. Do you remember the book Fahrenheit 451?
Sure, Ray Bradbury.
Right. It was written by Ray Bradbury. However, that temperature was not the original title. I'm going to read you three possibilities. What was the original title that Ray Bradbury intended for the book Fahrenheit 451? Was it The Fireman, The Secret Clan of Human Books, or The Illiterate World?
I'm going to go with the fireman on that one.
You say The Fireman. Okay, so I'll go back to Day Miami. Day, is Spiff right or is Spiff wrong? Uh-oh. He lost his voice. But he can read. Mm-hmm.
He's Googling it, I suspect. Scott and I had the same idea.
Oh, we lost him. He crashed. All right, let's give him a moment to relog. He'll probably come back right away. If he's not back in another minute, we'll have to restart the round with somebody else. We'll wait till 1:15. Someone fill in? Oh, did anyone want to fill in for him?
I can if we need to.
Jamie Jordan, you know Dave pretty well. Why don't you fill in for him?
Oh,
Alright,
Carl
better.
Metropolitan said he would.
Okay.
Either way, somebody just
Carl.
let me know.
There we go. Okay, Carl. All right, so I already asked the question to Spiff. The question was, when the book Fahrenheit 451 came out, what was the original title that Ray Bradbury intended for it? The options were The Fireman, Secret Clan of Human Books, and The Illiterate World. And Spiff says it's The Fireman. Do you agree? Is he right or is he wrong? Carl? You agree? Yep, absolutely right. X gets a square. It was The Fireman. Was the original title for Fahrenheit 451. There we go. Now we go back to Ladova. Ladova, who would you like next? Ladova? Oh, Day Miami's back. Okay. So Carl can stand up. Day can take a seat. It's okay, Day. You got the square. Wait for Dova is Tuja. Okay, Dova wants Tuja. Where is Tuja? There she is in the bottom corner. Hi, Tuja.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Okay, we have a history question for you. History question, right? Now, we were talking about Muhammad Ali. You might remember that Muhammad Ali had legal problems when he refused to go to the Vietnam War. Now, here's your question. The question was, when Ali was on the phone with his lawyer in April of 1968, what sound did he actually hear that altered the course of history? It was one of these three things. He heard the radio announce the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. He heard the actual gunshots of the assassination of Martin Luther King, or he heard the television announce the assassination of Malcolm X. Which of those three is it?
In 1968?
April of 1968.
That was, and the choices again are.
It was the radio announcing the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, the actual gunshots of the assassination of Martin Luther King, or he heard television announce the assassination of Malcolm X.
The television announced the assassination of Malcolm X, is what I say.
You're going with Malcolm X, okay. So I go back to Ludova. Ludova, is Tuja right or is Tuja wrong? You would be right to disagree. It was he heard through the phone the actual gunshots of the assassination of Martin Luther King. Circle gets a square.
Wow.
You heard that through the phone. Now we go back to Day Miami. Day, I think you want the upper right for the block for Nariana.
I do.
Okay,
Yes,
we're
please.
going to Nariana. Hi, Nary. Nariana, you there? Yep, okay, just checking in.
Yo. Let's do
Okay.
this.
All right, I have an astronomy question for you. The question is, what is the name of the largest moon in the solar system? Okay. Is it Titan, Io, or Ganymede?
The largest moon in the
Yeah,
solar
it's not our
system.
moon, by the way. No, it's either
it's
Titan,
not our
Io,
moon.
or Ganymede.
It is, as the name sort of implies, it is Titan.
You say it is Titan, so I go back to Day Miami. Day, is he right or is he wrong?
He's wrong. It's Ganymede around Jupiter. I'm an earth science teacher. Of course, I gotta know this stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was Ganymede. I'm going to go with
Ted.
Titan myself if I didn't know the answer. X gets a square. Now we go back to Ladova. Ladova, I think you want Scott for the block.
Did somebody call my name?
Ladova, right. Okay, we're going to Scott. Scott for the block. Hey, Scott.
Hi. This is
Thanks
fun.
for playing. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a literature question for you. This is a question. Once again, this is another question about the book Fahrenheit 451. It's a simple true or false question. Okay. True or false? The theme of Fahrenheit 451, a world where people aspire to burn all books in existence, was about censorship. Is that the theme of Fahrenheit 451? Is it censorship?
Actually, there's not censorship.
So you're going with false.
I'm going false because I happen to know the answer.
Okay, you say false. So I'm going down to Ladova. Ladova, he says false. It's not about censorship. That's not the theme. Is he right or is he wrong? You disagree. You think it is about censorship. Okay. Well, I'm afraid you're wrong, Ladova. It was apparently Ray Bradbury said that the theme, there was no law in the books against, there was no law against having books in that world. People burned books because they didn't like them. The theme of the book was chosen ignorance. I cannot give X a square because that would be a win. So I go back to J Miami. Day, I imagine you want Scott for the quick win.
Sure.
Scott for the quick win. There we go. All right, Scott.
Yo.
All right, got another question for you. It is a history question. History question is, do you remember the entertainer Sammy Davis Jr.?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you remember him, and he's, of course, famous. He only had one eye when he was famous. How did he lose his eye? How did it happen? One of these three things was fighting in World War II, or he fought in the Korean War, or it was a car accident.
I'm showing my age, but it was a car accident.
You say car accident?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I go back to Day Miami. Day, Scott right or Scott wrong?
Yeah, great.
Yep, it was a car accident. It happened in 1954. X gets a square, and the win goes to Day Miami.
What?
Yay, hooray for Day!
Ooh.
Yay!
Yay! So we need Day to stand up. We'll need another contestant. Ludovi, you don't have to go anywhere. You haven't won anything yet. So if anyone's going to trade places for the panel, now's the time to do it. But we're going to need another contestant, please.
Yeah, if anyone is interested in being up in a square, please stand up and move forward.
Absolutely, you could play a full game. Carl, get up here and take the chair. Absolutely. There we go. Carl wants to play.
Okay.
And is anyone going to trade places in the squares? Because if not, we'll just keep on going. Oh, wait, we have Shiny's getting down. All right, we'll need someone to take his place.
There we go. Blue's in there.
Blue's taking that, and someone else got down. We'll need one more.
If you signed up before, go ahead, and you're not up there, go ahead and stand up here, and that way we'll know.
We need one more panelist. Just one.
We got an empty spot up there.
Oh, who went up there? We have ML.
Yeah, Evelyn.
Lars. Okay. We are ready to go. Since we went with the circle last time, now we go back to X. So, Carl, you get to choose who do you want first for the Hollywood Squares.
Hi, everyone. I'm Evelyn.
You want Phelan. Going with feline, the power square. Okay, back to feline. Are you having fun tonight, feline?
I am. This is cool.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
I can't believe he's still awake, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Now, what do we have here? Now, last question. You got an astronomy question, I believe, last time. Was that you? I don't remember. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay. The last astronomy question we had was about Ganymede, which, of course, orbits Jupiter. I have a simple true or false question for you. Ganymede is believed to have a giant ocean of water on that. Is it true or is it false?
Ganymede. True.
Giant ocean of water on it. Is that true or is it false? Lon?
You gave the answer, I believe.
I'd say true.
You say it's true. Absolutely true. Carl, you disagree. Is it true and Carl disagree? Well, he's right. There is believed to be a giant ocean of water on Ganymede. I'm afraid Circle will get the square. Goes to Ladova. Okay, Ladova, who did you want next? That's right. Circle gets a square. We want Evelyn. We're going with Evelyn. Where is Evelyn? Which one's Evelyn?
It's me.
Oh, there we go. It's Millar. Hi, Millar. Thanks for playing.
You're welcome.
Okay. We have a literature question for you. It is about Edgar Allan Poe. Okay? Edgar Allan Poe originally was going to use a different talking bird other than the raven. Remember that famous poem that he wrote? What bird was it going to be? It was going to be something other than a raven. What was he going to use? Was it a budgie, a parrot, or a parakeet?
I think it's a parakeet.
You say it's a parakeet. All right. So I go back to Ladova. Ladova, is she right or is she wrong? You would disagree. You'd be right to disagree. It was a parrot. Intended a parrot. But apparently he changed his mind because he wanted to give it a darker tone. So I go with a raven. So we go back to Carl. Carl, I think you want Finny for the block. Yes, okay,
Hello.
we're going to Finny. Hi, Finny.
It's Rennie.
Oh, Greenie. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I had a little trouble reading it. Yeah, the first letter didn't appear on the name tag thing there. Okay, so we're going to go to a history question. History question is, you remember the story of Rosa Parks?
Of course.
Absolutely. Okay. What I remember, she was her famous incident on the bus. She was on her way home from her job at the time of the incident. What was her occupation at the time of her arrest in the bus incident? She was on her way home from work. What was she doing? Was she a department store seamstress, a drugstore clerk, or a hotel maid?
She was a seamstress.
You say she was a department store seamstress. So I go back to Carl. Carl, is she right or is she wrong? Carl agrees. Yep, X gets a square. Successful block.
Yay!
Now we go back to Ladova. Who did you want? Blue Barker. We're going to Blue Barker. All right, Blue Barker up there, way up there in the upper right-hand corner. Hello, Blue. Thanks for playing.
Hello. Doing good. Can you hear me?
Okay. Question. Your question is, Oh, we got an astronomy question for you. Okay. Now, we know that stars, like our sun, are mostly made up of helium and hydrogen. Aside from that, what is, next to helium and hydrogen, what is the most common element found in our sun? It's one of these three. Is it oxygen, carbon, or nitrogen?
Let's see. Thinking of things that are flammable, I'm gonna have to go with nitrogen there.
You say nitrogen?
Yep. Nitrogen.
Okay, you say nitrogen, so I'll go back to Ludova. Ludova? Is he right or is he wrong? Ludova agrees. No, I'm sorry, it's actually oxygen. It's oxygen. So I'm afraid X will get the square. Oxygen. So now we go back to Carl. Carl, who did you want? You with us, Carl? You want Opto. Let's see, Opto. Where's Opto? There he is, up in the right at the very top. Scott.
That would be me.
That would be you. Okay. Now we have a literature question for you. Okay. What book is most commonly banned in American public schools? It's one of these three. The most commonly banned book in American public schools. Is it the Harry Potter series, The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin, or Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger?
I'm thinking it's got to be a Catcher in the Rye.
You say it's Catcher in the Rye?
That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it.
So your answer is Catcher in the Rye.
That's my final answer.
Okay, so I'm going back to, whose turn was it? It was Carl's turn, right? Carl agrees. Actually, no, it was Catcher in the Rye, but these days it's the Harry Potter series. I'm afraid Circle gets a square. Well, it was the most commonly banned one back in the 50s, but now it is Harry Potter. All right. So we go to Ladova. Ladova, I imagine you want Roxy for the quick win. All right, we're going to Roxy. Hi, Roxy.
Hi. Thought you'd never get back to me.
Well, they got to wait for them to pick you. Okay.
I know. It's tough.
Okay, we have a history question for you related to sports. Okay.
Okay.
Your history question was, who was the first African American Major League Baseball player? It was one of these three. Was it Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby, or Ernie Banks?
Since I'm a baseball fan, it's Jackie Robinson.
You say it's Jackie Robinson. I go back to Ludova. Ludova, is she right or is she wrong? Great. Yep, they made a big Hollywood film about it and everything. The movie, Jackie Robinson, Circle gets a square, and Ludova wins the round. Right for Ludova. She wins a brand new Catboy doll. So I need to reset the board. And Ludova, we need to stand up so someone else has a chance to play. Carl, you don't have to go anywhere. You haven't won anything yet. So we're going to need another contestant, please.
And Catboy, check your Ryan real quick.
All right, we're going to need...
I'm very sorry to end on this round because I'm
We're going to need another contestant and one more panelist. We need another panelist, please. We need two.
I'd be happy to jump in.
Well, jump right in then.
There, so.
Actually, we need two panelists.
We need two of them, one on the left and one on the right, and we need a new contestant.
Up there right now.
Yeah, don't be shy. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, we have Adrian's going to be a contestant. Oh, wait. Adrian accidentally sat on the desk. Need you to sit on the chair. I'm staring at the floor for some reason.
Clean the desk first.
Okay. All right. Now we need one more. We need just one more panelist.
I'm actually trying to get there. I'm trying to find the sit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not seeing it. Okay, cool.
What is there? He is there.
Good deal.
There we go. That's all. That's everybody. So now we're ready to start. So I believe we went back to X started the round last time. So now we're going to the circle. So Adrian, I need you to choose. You get to choose first. Who do you want first for the Hollywood Squares?
Okay, I'm going to go with Falan for the center.
Falan, the Power Square. Going with the Power Square. Always a smart move. All right, Falan.
Excellent. Okay. Question up.
Question up. Another astronomy question. We were talking about our sun the last time, and as everyone well knows, our sun is a star, but that star also has a name. What is it? It's one of these three. Is it Sol, or is it just the sun? We never named it anything. Or it's just that big-ass bright thing up in the sky.
Let's have some fun. Let's just call it that big ass bright thing up in the sky.
You say it's just a big-ass bright thing up in the sky. We never named it. So we go back to Adrian. Adrian, is Falan right or is he wrong?
Well, I generally call it the sun. Maybe Sol, but I'm going to disagree.
You would be right to disagree. Its proper name is Sol. That's why we call it the solar system. That's where it comes from. Circle gets a square. All right, now we go to Carl. Carl, who would you need? Who would you like next? You want Stefan? Okay, we're going to. Which one is Stefan? Steven, there we go. On the bottom right. Hi.
Hi. Hey, before I ask the question, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
As a young square, I'm really thankful to Wisdom Seeker and VWBPE to grow up to be an adult square.
Being a what?
An adult square.
Oh, okay. Adult square. All right. Now we are going to have another question for you, another literature question. Okay. Now we were talking about the most commonly banned book in American schools today, that's Harry Potter, but it used to be back in the 50s, Catcher in the Rye was the most commonly banned book in America. What was the reason why they had for banning it? It was one of these three. Was it because it had swearing, or it was accused of subversively promoting communism, or it had too much sex?
I have read Catcher in the Rye, and it has those things, except for the subverting communism, I think. So I'm going to guess it was banned for subverting communism.
Okay, for promoting communism, was accused of that. So I go back to Carl. Carl, is Stephen right or Stephen wrong? You agree? Yep, that was it. The reason why it was accused of promoting communism. We go back to Adrienne. Adrienne, who would you like next?
I'm going to go with Toya, bottom left.
Bottom left, Tuja. Hi. Hey, Tuja.
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, good to see you. Okay, we have a history question for you. The history question was, in 1950, who was the first African American Nobel Peace Prize winner? Was one of these three people? Was it Martin Luther King Jr., or was it the ambassador to the UN, Ralph Bunche, or was it Nelson Mandela?
I'm going to answer Ralph.
You say it was Ralph Bunche, who was the ambassador to the UN, American ambassador to the UN. So I go back to Adrienne. Adrienne, is she right or is she wrong?
I'm going to have to go with her. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely right. Circle gets a square. Circle gets a square. Oh, and we're going to have three in a row. So, Carl, I believe you want blue block for the win. I mean, for the block. All right, blue. We're going to blue.
Hi again.
Blue bar. Hi, how you doing? Okay, we're going to astronomy now. I have an astronomy question. Okay. The question is, variances in the sun's magnetic field can cause some areas of the sun's surface to be somewhat cooler than the surrounding area. These areas are known as what? Is it convergent voids, dipolar radiance, or sunspots?
Oh, they're all really nice sounding answers, but I'm going with my gut. It says sunspots.
You say sunspots. Okay. So I go back to Carl. Carl, do you agree or disagree? You disagree. I'm afraid he was right. It's sunspots. Those two other words are something I made up. I thought it sounded cool. I cannot give that the circle because that would be a win, so we have to go back to Adrian. So, Adrian, I imagine you want to go to Blue Barker for the quick win.
That is correct.
All right. Blue Barker, you got that right. Sunspots. I'm surprised people didn't bite the other words. You know, it's like dipolar radiance. It's just nonsense. Those two words are made up. Okay, Blue Barker, I have another question for you. Your question is, do you know the book Lolita? Famous book Lolita, which of course was made into a couple of well-known movies.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the author of the book Lolita was Vladimir Nabokov, and he wrote it while he was living in New York City. The manuscript was so controversial that no publisher in America would take it. So, Lolita, at first, could only be published abroad. Which country was the first to publish that book? It was one of these three. Was it England, Spain, or France?
Huh. I think originally I was gonna say Italy, but that's not one of your choices. So, someone that's being very open about what Lolita's content is, I would have to say France.
You're going with France. Okay. So I'm going back to...
Okay, and you said that Lolita was so open sexually. Is that it?
Whose turn was it? Was it Adrian? Your turn? Right. Yeah.
Yes.
He said he says it's France. Do you agree? Is he right or is he wrong?
I would say the most open country in that aspect would be France. Yes, I agree.
Yep, absolutely right. It was France, 1955. It was first published. America did publish the book later on. Circle gets a square, and the win goes to Adrienne.
Yay!
Yay! Adrienne wins a brand new Catboy doll. There you go. You get that. So I need to reset the board. Carl, you don't have to go anywhere. You haven't won anything yet. If anyone's going to trade places, now's the time to do it. We got time for at least 2 more rounds before the end of the hour.
So someone's coming up here now.
Oh my goodness, where are you in the world right now? Are you in England? If the sun come up, playing at dawn. We have at least time, maybe a little more than that. Depends on how quickly it goes. We're going right up until the end of the hour.
Listen, get up here.
We need a contestant, please. We need a contestant. And if anyone's going to trade places with a panelist, now's the time to do it. Oh, you don't have to get up, Carl. You haven't won anything yet. We need one more contestant, please. One more. Well, there we go. We have someone volunteering. It's Jazz. Jazz, of course, was a panelist, I believe, earlier. Thank you for playing, Jazz. Okay, we're ready to go. We started with a circle last time, didn't we? I think we did. So we're going to Carl. So Carl, you get to choose first. Who do you want first for the Hollywood Squares? For the Power Square, you're going to Flan. Okay. Once again, Flan, you're getting all the tough ones tonight.
I am.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. I have a history question for you involving entertainment this time. All right. History question. Who was the first black actor or actress to win an Academy Award? It was one of these three. Was it Haiti McDaniel for her role in as a supporting actress in Gone with the Wind? Was it Sidney Poitier in Lilies of the Field for leading actor? Or was it Dorothy Dandridge playing the leading actress role of Carmen Jones? Who was the first?
I have no idea, so let's go with Sidney Poitier.
You say Sidney Poitier. All right. So I go back to Carl. Carl, is Feline right or is he wrong? You disagree. You'd be right to disagree. He did win the Academy Award, but that was many years after Haiti McDaniel got it for Gone with the Wind, 1939. X gets a square. All right, now we go to Jazz. Jazz, who do you want next?
I'll go with Spiff, please.
Spiff. Spiff, way up there in the upper left-hand corner. Hi, Spiff.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Okay, now, we have another astronomy question for you. Around this time last year, in April of last year, a lot of press was made when astronomers took the very first picture of what? It was one of these three things. Is it an exploding supernova, a black hole, or alien life?
Wow. Interesting choices. I'm going to go with the first one.
An exploding supernova.
Yes. Exploding
Okay.
supernova sounds the most exciting.
All right, so we go to Jazz. Jazz.
Agree. That does sound most exciting, so I'm going to agree and say yes. He's correct.
I'm sorry, but he's wrong. It was a black hole.
Oh, no.
They took a picture of a black hole. It looked like a big fiery donut. I took a picture of it last year, and I had to use very special camera, so I'm afraid X gets a square. Might be a very short round, so Carl, I think you want Steven to steal the quick win. You want? Okay, so we're going to Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hello.
Okay, Steven, we have a literature question for you. This one's about Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens. Now, Charles Dickens was a believer in the supernatural and was one of the earliest members of something called the Ghost Club. Who else was a famous member of this club? Was it Edgar Allan Poe, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, or Robert E. Howard?
I have no idea. So I'll go with Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle.
You say Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Okay, so we go back to Carl. Carl? You agree. Doyle was a huge spiritualist. You are absolutely right. X gets a square, and the win goes to Carl. Hooray for Carl! Yay! Carl gets a brand new doll. Jasmine, you don't have to go anywhere yet. You haven't won anything yet. I'm going to reset the board, and we're going to need another contestant, please. And if anyone's going to trade places for the panel, now's the time to do it. So we're going to need, we have a panelist now. We have Paulsian. We're going to need one more panelist and a contestant. Oh, we got another panelist. It's Zinnia. Okay, now we just need a contestant. We're ready to go. Just one more contestant. Can't play without one. We need a contestant, please. jump in the chair. Can't play unless somebody wants to win. Oh,
And I don't want to win by default. Come on, guys.
Oh, there we go. It's Nariana. Nariana wants to play. Okay. Jazz, do you remember who started the round last round? Was that you?
Oh gosh, I really don't remember.
I don't remember either. Well, we'll start with you this time then. We'll start with you. Okay, Jazz, who do you want first for the Hollywood Squares?
Well, the smart thing would be to go with Phelan. He's right there in the center.
Phelan, the Power Square. Hi, Phelan.
Hello.
Okay, we have a history question for you. Your history question is, which American president signed the Emancipation Act? Was it Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, or Andrew Johnson?
I'm thinking Lincoln.
I think it's Lincoln. You're thinking Lincoln. So
I
go
have
back
to
to
agree. It has to be Abraham Lincoln.
Yep, it's Lincoln. Circle gets the square. Now we go to Mariana. Mariana, who did you want? You with us, Mariana?
I'm gonna go with my sister from NPC, Zinnia.
Zinnia. Oh, they're in the bottom right-hand corner. Hi, Zinnia. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay, Zinnia, I have a astronomy question for you. Okay. Now, if you remember, the last astronomy question we had was the first picture ever taken of a black hole was accomplished in April of last year. It was taken by the Event Horizon Telescope. What kind of telescope is it? Okay. Is it the world's largest single ground-based telescope, or it's a series of telescopes from all over the world working together to make a single image, or is it a telescope up in space orbiting the Earth? Which of those three is it?
Well, I want it to be multiple ones, so they have to use Photoshop to put it together.
I guess something like that. So which one? You say it's multiple?
So multiple ones.
You say it's multiple. Okay, so I go to. Let's see.
Shiny got a little distracted there. Can you repeat the question, Catboy?
All right, the question was, the very first picture ever taken of a black hole was done last year, and it was taken by something called the Event Horizon Telescope. What kind of telescope was it? The options were the world's largest single ground-based telescope, or a series of telescopes from all over the world working together to make a single image, or a telescope in space orbiting the Earth. And Zinni said it's a series of telescopes from all over the world. Is she right or is she wrong?
Zinnia is correct.
Zinnia is absolutely correct. It was a series of telescopes from all over the world working together to make a single image.
Just like all of us at NPC.
Now we go to Jazz. Jazz, who did you want next?
Ooh, gee. I'm gonna go with Paulzian.
Paulzian? Paulzian. Hi, Paul. Paulzian. You with us, Paul? Excellent. Okay, Paul. We have a literature question for you. Your literature question is, do you know the story of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck? Are you familiar with it? Making sure you are. Right. Okay. The original manuscript of Mice and Men is lost forever. It's gone. How did that happen? It was one of these three things. It was lost in the mail, it was eaten by a dog, or a drunk editor that he submitted it to threw it in the waste paper basket and deliberately set it on fire. You say number 3, a drunk editor threw it in a waste paper basket and then burned it all. Okay.
Well, I was gonna guess it got burned up. So I guess I'll have to agree.
Is it the answer 3? No, I'm afraid not. Of all things, it was eaten by a dog.
No.
Yep, X gets the square. Apparently left it lying around and he had a dog that's not very well trained, apparently. So now we go back to Mariana. Mariana, I think you want Roxy for the quick win.
Let's do this, Roxy.
Yeah, let's do it, but I'm still stuck on the dog.
Okay, here we go. Let's see, I'm going to have a history question for you. Just a sec.
Make it easy.
Okay. All right. Now, this one is about the whose proposal that Congress considered the civil rights legislation that ultimately culminated in the Civil Rights Act years later in 1964. Whose proposal that Congress consider the civil rights legislation that culminated to later becoming the Civil Rights Act of 64? Was it Lyndon B. Johnson, Robert F. Kennedy, or John F. Kennedy?
I'm pretty sure it was Lyndon B. Johnson.
You say it was Lyndon B. Johnson, so I go back to Jazz, I believe. Oh no, sorry, it was Mariana's turn. Mariana, is Roxy right or is Roxy wrong? Sorry about that, Jazz.
She is correct. I'm going to say yes, Roxy.
You say
correct.
it's Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson, LBJ.
I'm afraid she's wrong. It was actually a proposal brought up by John F. Kennedy. It took years for it to later be ratified because, of course, he passed away by the time 1964 came around. So, circle gets a square. And Jazz has an opportunity to steal. Jazz has an opportunity to steal. So, Jazz, I think you want Scott for the quick win.
Yes, please, please, please. Let me have Scott for the win.
Scott for the win. Hi, Scott. Checking to make sure you're there. You there, Scott? Or optimistic? You there with us, optimistic?
Are we there?
Folks. Oh, you're there. Excellent.
Hey.
Okay. Now we were the last question we're into the topic of telescopes. We were just talking about the Event Horizon Telescope being made of a series of telescopes. We're going to talk about another telescope this time. This is the Kepler telescope. And the Kepler telescope has found more of this stellar phenomenon than any other telescope. Is one of these three stellar phenomenon. What is it? Is it quasars, exoplanets, or black holes?
I'm going to have to go with exoplanets.
You say exoplanets, which of course are planets outside of our solar system. So I go back to Jazz. Jazz, is he right or is he wrong?
Oh my goodness. I have absolutely, positively no idea. So I'm going to have to make a guess. Oh, and hope that he's right. Exoplanets.
Right, that's what the Kepler telescope was specifically made for. A circle gets a square, and the win goes to Jazz.
Woot! Yay!
Yay,
Right.
Jazz!
Well, that's the top of the hour, so I'm going to call it. So thank you for playing, everybody. Thanks for coming to Hollywood Squares, and we're going to call it right there. We're just minute away from the top of the hour.
That was
So thanks for coming, everyone. Oh, Jazz, I got to give you your prize. It's an adorable little Catboy doll. There you go. And Ariana, you get one too for playing. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Catboy. And he does this same game show, I believe, at Hooligans. So if you ever get a chance to go to Hooligans in here, he does the match game and he does this one. So he's a great game show host.
Yeah, it's Thursday, 5 p.m. I go every week. It's a lot of
Yes.
fun.
If anyone wants to play with our weekly Hollywood Squares, actually, most of the time we play match game, but we mix it up. We go back and forth. Hollywood Squares match game. If you're interested in playing, we play every Thursday. We play for prize money. You can win up to as much as 500 linden. If you're interested, just IM me and I will send you a landmark.